Hello guys, I welcome you to my YouTube channel once again. In the last couple of months, I have shown you how to use Excel spreadsheet program to carry out petrophysical analysis of well log data. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Techlog Software to carry out petrophysical analysis of well log data. The first thing we are going to do is showing you around the Techlog user interface, and then we will look at data loading. Alright, so let's get the ball rolling. Now we're going to use Techlog Software 2015 version for the purpose of this video. So let's quickly launch the software. And then click Start. Alright, so welcome to Techlog 2015 software. So this is how the interface looks like, but then we need to open a new project. So to do that, come to Project, New. So let's give the project a name. So you can say Techlog Training, Techlog Training. All right, and then you can define your country if you wish to, and for me, I'm going to choose Nigeria, and then next. You can leave other settings as default, then click Next, and then click Next, and then click Finish. Alright, so now we have a new project in place, and as you can see, we have Techlog Training over here. Okay, so that's the name of this project. So this is how the interface looks like. I'm going to quickly take you around this interface. So at the top of this interface is the title bar, and then followed by the menu bar where we have Home, Plot, Data, and so on and so forth. So it is through this menu bar we will navigate to all the functions and activities we are going to carry out in this project. Okay? And just below the menu bar we have the toolbar. So what that means is, to get to this toolbar, we have to navigate through the menu bar. For instance, for you to get to the log view, you need to go through the plot and then your log view. Okay? So this is the log view. Alright. So this toolbar is where the tools you need for this training are located. And then for project browser, well, this tool is the avenue to access all imported data, interpreted data, as well as saved items. Now for the zone, this is where tabs or zones are located. The properties help to display and edit the properties of an item. For instance, if you click on a log and then go to the properties, you'll be able to display and then edit that particular log properties. And for display area, this is where all display activities will be carried out. And then the output window, which is located somewhere here, this is where all activities are recorded and saved. The next step is to import all the required data we are going to use for this training. And this includes last files, deviation survey data, well header, as well as well tops. That is, if the well tops data is available, because well tops might not be available. So you have to pick the tops yourself. So let's go back to project browser, and then let's import the data. The first data we are going to import is last file. And to do that, let's go to Home, Project Browser, and then click on this import icon. All right. Click on this folder and then go to desktop, Techlog training, and then click on last file. So this is the two last file data we have in this folder. We have X1 and X2. Okay, so let's import the both of them at the same time. So click on X1 and then press and hold Control key, and then click on X2 and then open. All right, so here we are. We have the two last file here. So let's check the data now. So you can open the data. All right, as you can see, so these are the data that are contained in X1 well. Same with X2. These are the data that are contained in X2 well. So click on X1 and then click on this arrow to transfer to data set. All right, and then do the same for X2. Okay, so we now have the two well data under the data set. So you can go ahead to delete the last files. All right, so the next step is to import the wellhead data. Now, before we import the well data, let's take a look at the well data. So this is the well data. Okay, so this is X1 and X2. We have X coordinate, Y coordinate, Kelly bushing, and total depth. This data actually talks about the position of the wells, that is the well location. Now, we can only import this data manually. So let's go ahead and import this data manually. So click on X1 and then come to parameters. So this is where you will input the well data. So for country, you can say Nigeria or whichever country you wish to put. And for unit, you can put meter or feet. Or better still, you can leave it open. Okay? But let's go ahead to put feet. And for field, you can put the name of the field or put X field. And for the unit, put feet. Okay? And then the company name, you can put X. And then go to X coordinate. And then bring out the well data. All right. And then copy out the X coordinate. Ctrl C. And then Ctrl V. And the unit is meter. All right. And for Y coordinates, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. And then put the unit, which is meter. And then go to elevation, which is Kelly bushing. And then Ctrl C. And then Ctrl V. Okay, and this is in feet. And then the total depth, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and it's in meter. All right. Now we have successfully imported the well data into X1 well. Okay, so let's do the same for X2. Now click on X2 So the country, put Nigeria, or you can put whichever country you so desire. And the unit is in feet. Field, X field. The unit of the field, put feet. The company, put X. And for the unit, put feet. Okay. And then for X coordinates, let's bring out the X coordinate. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then put meter. All right. And for Y coordinate, Ctrl C, and then Ctrl V, and then the unit is in meter. And for elevation, which is 49.21, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and is in feet. Okay. And for the total depth, Ctrl C, which is to copy, and then Ctrl V, which is to paste, and then put the unit. All right. So we have also imported the well data into X2 well. Now, after all of this, the next data to import is deviation survey data. But before we import it, let us also take a look at the data. All right. So let's go back to the data. And then click on deviation survey data. So for X1 well, this is the deviation survey data. This is measured depth. This is angle of inclination. And this is angle of azimuth. Okay? The measured depth is in feet. Inclination is in degree. While azimuth angle is also in degree. Now, let's take a look at this image to further explain the deviation survey data.
Now, the measured depth is the length of the well bore measured along its length. And the inclination is the deviation from the vertical direction of the well. The value of inclination is between 0 to 180 degrees. And for azimuth, this is an angular measurement in a spherical coordinate system, and more specifically, it is the horizontal angle from a cardinal direction, mostly north. Okay? As you can see from this image, here is the inclination angle, azimuth angle, as well as the magnetic north. You can also see the drill bit and the direction of the drill bit. Okay? Now back to the data.
So let's go ahead and import this data. So let's close this. And then let's also close this. Click on this folder. And then deviation survey. Click on X1. All right. So this is what we have. So click on this unknown. And then type deviation survey. All right. And then click on this point data. And then select trajectory. And then come to measure depth. Select feet, which is the unit of the measured depth. And for inclination, we select degree. Okay. Same thing for azimuth. Degree. Okay. So click on preview. And then click on load to the import buffer. So this is the deviation survey data. Alright, so this is what we have. So click on it and then click on this arrow to transfer to the data set. Alright, so this is deviation survey data. So click on this and then delete so that we can import for X2 well. So let's go again. X2, open. Deviation survey. Survey. And then double click on point data, trajectory, and then select unit for measure depth, that is feet. Okay, and for azimuth, select degree, and for inclination, select degree. And then click on preview, load to the import buffer. Alright, so this is what we have. So click on it and then transfer to data sets. Okay, so this is deviation survey data for X2 well. So let's delete this. Now we have imported well logs data, we have imported the well data, and we have also imported the deviation survey data.
So that is where we are going to draw the curtains on this video. And of course, this will be the last video I'm going to put out on petrophysical analysis of well log data. But if you have learned one or two things in this video, and if you wish to learn more, you can go to my Udemy course. However, I'm presently giving out discount coupons. So if you are interested, you can reach out to me via this email address. So thank you, and I'll see you again.